Well, it appears that Pokrovsk is becoming the most dangerous flashpoint on the front line. Reports now indicate that up to 3,000 Russian troops have been encircled by Ukraine's Azov Corps, cutting off their retreat routes and leaving entire battalion groups stranded as Putin's Pokrovsk offensive collapses into chaos. Ukrainian units are striking reinforcements and logistics columns trying to reach the pocket, turning the situation into a costly disaster for Moscow. At the same time, the Institute for the Study of War warns that Russia's offensive efforts are overstretched, with the Kupiansk axis particularly vulnerable due to insufficient manpower to sustain large-scale operations there, while simultaneously pushing around Pokrovsk and other sectors. The twin crises reveal the broader problem for the Russian military: multiple offensives without adequate reserves, leaving its forces trapped, bled, and unable to consolidate gains. Over the past week, the Pokrovsk front has seen a dramatic collapse in Russian cohesion, with multiple frontline units reportedly cut off as Ukrainian forces closed 3 separate encirclements, while drones interdicted reinforcements and rear-area convoys. Ukraine's Dnipro Operational Command confirmed local advances and said Russian logistics near Dobropilya are being struck hard, producing collapsing supply routes and retreating formations taking heavy fire. Open-source monitoring and Russian military bloggers describe the situation as catastrophic, with Kyiv claiming measurable gains around Pokrovsk and Dobropilya that have degraded enemy combat power and trapped withdrawing troops. The Eurochem Belorochensk mineral fertilizers chemical plant in Russia's Krasnodar territory was shut down after a nighttime drone attack. An employee of the company in Belorochensk confirmed to Astra that the plant was hit by drones on the night of September 25th. According to sources in the Russian Emergencies Ministry, the attack lasted from approximately 2:30 to 3:30. After the strike, the company's operations were suspended to check the area for explosives. There is no information on the extent of the damage. Local residents reported that traffic was blocked in the area of the chemical plant. This caused concern among the city's population. The operational headquarters of the Krasnodar territory confirmed that the drone debris had fallen near a large enterprise in the Belorokensky district, causing a fire. Authorities did not name the company that was attacked, but confirmed that the fire covered about 50 square meters of space. Firefighters extinguished the fire. According to official reports, no one was injured. The operational headquarters reported that about 140 employees of the plant were evacuated to a protective structure. Eurochem Belorochensk Mineral Fertilizers is considered one of the largest mineral fertilizer producers in southern Russia. International investigations have repeatedly pointed out that Eurochem and other large Russian chemical companies provide raw materials to the Russian military-industrial complex. In particular, Reuters news agency reported that more than 75% of the components for the production of explosives and gunpowder came from 5 such companies, including Eurochem, Uralchem, and Evraz. Ukrainian drones had already struck other plants that belong to Eurochem, including Azov in the Tula region and Stavropol. Another story from the great country of Russia. 3 years on from their mobilization, surviving Russian Mobiks have been speaking of their despair and hopelessness at being forced to serve indefinitely in an increasingly lethal war. "We're not considered human beings. Meat shouldn't have an opinion," says one. The Russian independent news outlet Verstka has been speaking to some of the mobilized soldiers who have survived from the original batch of 300,000 men mobilized after September 2022. It has found their morale to be low, and the men eager to speak out. A retired police officer who was mobilized says, "When the draft orders arrived, they told us we'd be guarding warehouses on the border for 6 months. And we, like idiots, believed them. It's our own fault. It's a harsh lesson. Now I just want to return home alive. I'm not a patriot, and I'm not eager to take over Ukraine. There are few patriots, and everyone wants to go home." Another says that from the start, the mood was that we were fucked. We were told straight away to fight. It was a no-brainer. The front had collapsed, so they called on us to plug the holes. I understood everything perfectly, but running was scary. I just didn't expect civilians to be drafted into the war. The Mobics have found it particularly hard to deal with the indefinite nature of their service, which has led many of them and their relatives to describe their relationship with the Russian Ministry of Defense as slavery. At first, they told us you'd go for 3 months at most, 6 months at most. After 6 months, we thought a year is the maximum. But soon we'll be entering our 4th year. And we're constantly thinking about demobilization, says one mobilized officer. As reported previously, mobilized men are being ordered to either sign a contract or storm the front, an approach described euphemistically as combat replenishment. This makes them ineligible for an eventual demobilization. They're doing this to keep people in the army. Right now, those fighting are either those with expired contracts or those mobilized. At some point, up to 80% will want to quit. They're willing. And those who signed recently will still serve even if the situation worsens, says a mobilized soldier. Many of us don't understand why we should want to sign. It's not a privilege, but the opposite. Some refuseniks among the Mobics are nonetheless still refusing to sign contracts, in the hope that they will survive long enough to be demobilized. One of the refuseniks says, "I have 3 children myself and a 70-year-old mother, and they don't give a damn, the assholes. I've already been hit in the head twice. 2 workshops and a bunker were destroyed, and I don't give a damn about a contract." Another speculates that the state is afraid that many fighters will return home and that questions will arise about the war. But they'll fucking return anyway. Chat rooms used by Mobics are full of speculation about when the war will end. The on-off discussions between Trump and Putin initially stirred jubilation, but hope has been dashed this month by the receipt of orders to equip winter uniforms. One man writes, "Fuck, guys, we're waiting until the end of the year. If they don't let us go, there's no point in waiting. If they haven't let us go after 3.5 years, why keep us here for another 3? I don't think they give a shit. They wrote us off a long time ago. So what should we do now? Enlist as conscientious objectors? We can't do anything. They're saying on TV that no one here doesn't want to be here," replies another. A third says, "If I come back alive, the only thing I'll regret is that I went to the draft board myself following the summons. 3 years of my life down the drain. I wish I'd torn up the summons 3 years ago and got a suspended sentence." When asked how he feels about the anniversary of his mobilization, an army technician replies, "I'm drained, both mentally and physically. I've lost all my strength, emotions, and hope. I also don't believe I'll live to see the end of the war." His view is widely shared. "It's like Squid Game here. You take turns shooting, and there's always a loser," a Mobic writes in a chat room. "Fucking hell, I just want to get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of this survival roulette," comments another. "Who wants to sit in this fucking mud, hungry and without water, for who knows how long?" asks a third. "With weapons like a native in a loincloth. And they're constantly trying to kill you with alien technology. The increasing lethality and automation of the fighting, which is now seeing autonomous AI-controlled hunter-killer drones being used on the front lines, has made many Mobics doubt that they will survive for much longer, and is leading them to desert to save their lives. There's a new war going on now. Drone crews and electronic warfare crews are dying. The men in the 300s, or injured, can't evacuate with their limbs severed. Many are on the verge of blood poisoning. It's a disaster. There were disasters before, but nothing like this. The mobilized former police officer says that the higher-ups don't care. We've simply accepted that we're not considered human beings. Meat shouldn't have an opinion. Although he now works in the, relatively, safer rear, he wants an exit from the war. I just want to return home alive. I'm not a patriot, and I'm not eager to take over Ukraine. 3 years have been erased from my life. Only anger remains. He is considering deserting. I have quite a few friends who are hiding well. I could hide for quite a while. I'm already 50, I have no family left, and I can make ends meet with odd jobs. A man who works in his unit's HQ to retrieve deserters says that people are fleeing every day. There are so many wanted posters every day. The mood is such that few people condemn them. And I think the main reason is family problems. People truly understand that their whole lives are passing them by. Families are breaking up. Children are not seeing their fathers. Depression, uncertainty, and hopelessness are taking their toll. One soldier asks in a chat room, what's so terrible about being imprisoned as a punishment for desertion? So I don't get it. Going to jail isn't an option at all? What if I want to go to jail? Another points out, though, that deserting is a bit of a gamble. You can spend a year and a half in prison and get nothing, or you can join the stormtroopers when they catch you. I heard one guy was jailed, but only for a year. Being sent to die in a stormtrooper squad is reportedly becoming a standard punishment. Even so, the conditions on the front line are so terrible that many are willing to try anything to get out of the trenches. One of the mobilized soldiers speaks of seeing legless and armless men, mice eating rotting, bloated bodies, and worms nesting in empty eye sockets. On the third year, I'll just sit down near the front in a dungeon and do whatever I want. The military police won't get there, I won't die of hunger. There are a shitload of us like that and more. They told us it would be 6 months. I'm running out of patience. I'll even walk home. I don't give a damn about the charges, I want to live.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.